Welcome back to another Genre Art with JB. It's been a minute, huh, guys? We're more like about a week. So, what I have here is doing an underdrawing for the third entry into my Isaac Asimov Fanart Series. And this is based off of the novel The Second Foundation. So I will be depicting the mule in his throne room. So you can see I have a fabulous piece of reference here, reference art. Fortunately, I don't know the original artist, but I'll be sure to look them up and, let you guys know if I can find the name of the original artist or not. But I just really like how they designed this throne room. It's got sort of a neo-Gothic feel to it. And of course, if we look to the underdrawing, I have the mule and one of his sort of enslaved people, right? So what I'm going to do today is just lay in the underdrawing for the architecture and go from there. So I hope everybody had a wonderful week. And yeah, I wanted to make an announcement and also give a shout out to the SEDS Sri Lanka space art competition. I entered one of my pieces into the competition at the behest of someone who was a fan of my work on Facebook. And I just figured, what the heck, doesn't hurt to enter this contest. We were all under lockdown, and I very rarely will I sell an original piece of like sci-fi art. What generally happens is the publisher will reach out to me and I'll give them the reproduction. I get paid for the reproduction, not the original. So I already made my money off the reproduction on that piece, and figured I would just submit it for this competition and see what happens. And fortunately, they saw fit. The panelists were made up of a bunch of ex-NASA employees, and I guess, for lack of a better term, thought leaders in the futurist space. And they liked my piece so much, they gave me an honorable mention. I came in the top 13 out of over 1,000 submissions, which, I have to say I'm quite proud of. So what I'm doing is just getting my bearings here. I'm going to go to view, our window, workspace, reset essentials. And there we go. Let's just go over here. Okay, and that is so generally what I want to do is the architecture on this layer. And what I'm going to do is just kind of go in and mess around a bit. I actually want to come back down here. You can see I've laid in my horizon already. Move that over. There we go. And I'm just going to work my way from the right to the left. So it looks like there's some sort of, this is actually a bed chamber of some sorts. What I'll probably do is nix the bed, but I'll have some sort of raised platform here. And I have to say that between Foundation and Empire and Second Foundation, those are probably my most favorite books out of the whole series of the original trilogy. I mean, the first Foundation novel was great. It was groundbreaking, but I do think that just Asimov raised the stakes with the novel, The Second Foundation, and just higher stakes, right? You're dealing with a very menacing antagonist in the form of the mule. a mutant telepath who can control minds, basically. He can enslave minds. He's just the ability of, basically, for lack of a better word, he has the capability of mind controlling people. He can rewire their brains to serve him obediently. And he uses this ability to sort of conquer the galaxy, right? Because you can't, how can you fight someone who can control your mind, rewire your emotions? And so that is, that's sort of the idea behind the Mule. Let's see here. Race platform. What I'll do is I'll just end up duplicating this design. And just going through, still drawing. I'm trying to, I actually also want to shout out Joel from the Seldon Crisis podcast for promoting my work on Twitter. And also Foundation Error. Once again, I'll put their information in the cards. But two swell gents over there doing good work, fighting a good fight, trying to evangelize the works of Isaac Asimov's and just being, you know, supporters of a lot of the stuff that came out during the golden age of sci-fi. And when we say golden age of sci-fi, typically that's the 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? And I'm just really having fun with the wings here on this gargoyle or whatever it is. And I just realized there's a whole section that I missed here. So what I'll do is I'll just move this out. And instead of having this pylon go all the way down below the stairs and the raised platform, what I'm going to do is just have the pylon kind of start here. And then we'll come in, let's get a little perspective in there. This is how I work. I just lay in a very solid structure. I do the same thing if I was oil painting. It would just take a lot longer. But I basically come in and I'm just going through the motions, you know, getting my, zoom out a little bit here. And I kind of want to make this a little smaller, fit more of the structure in there. Because I'm not looking at this one-to-one, I'm really judging the scale by, ping-ponging my eyes back and forth between the reference and the actual image there. So this looks more like it. And then we have and I'm just going in and figuring out some of these shape relationships. You really want to look at what you're drawing too. Like my eyes are constantly ping-ponging back and forth here between what I'm, between my work area and my reference. So I have uno, dos, tres. And then we want to move this over. It's easy if you're not working one-to-one to overestimate the scale of objects. We want to make sure we get this the depth of the shape language correct, because that will create the illusion of depth in the piece and will also help establish the perspective and all that good stuff. So these two actually are out a little further. There's a lot of moving parts to this piece. Just particularly because the reference is so crazy. All right. What I want to do now is establish some continuity here. That doesn't look too bad to me. And like I said, what I'll do is I'll just duplicate this action on the other side, so that way I'm not doing double work. But what we're getting is we're going to be getting quite a bit of this window covered here. But what I can do is extend it out, right? So I can have, you know, I have to invent a little bit here because I still want this nice backlit effect that this window is going to give me. So if I just envision this kind of going through, maybe we have a centerpiece over here. And then we have some sort of like pylon that comes up here. Maybe not. Let's erase all those images. So draw through that a little bit. And then before we continue, let's take this area that we've masked in over here, right? Just all of this. And we're going to duplicate it so that we can play around with the space, push the space, create some interesting shape dynamics. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's go back over here. Let's merge these down. And I'm sorry if I'm not as verbose today. I'm kind of got a lot on my plate with workshops coming up, but I have my great Pyrenees here with me. She's resting at my feet, keeping us company. Got my reference, got my next plan of attack for this piece, and I'm glad you guys are able to join me today. Like I was saying, you want to check out Joel from Selden Crisis and Foundation Error for more Asimov fan art. Today is going to be more of a painting process video. So that's kind of how I'm working it today. Trying to think about pop culture wise, what sort of things transpire that I'm kind of interested in checking out. I mean, on a totally unrelated note, I'm interested in kind of checking out Black Widow. I know that movie came out recently, but I'm going to wait for it to become free on streaming, I think. Let's see, rotate. Even though I love the theater, I don't want to go alone. I have no one to go with right now. Let's see, transform, rotate, flip horizontal. Let's see, it looks good flipped horizontally. All right, let's edit. Redo. Come over. Keep dragging that. Command C, Command V. There we go. And now it's on its own layer. Hit, transform, flip horizontal. Gonna lock some of these. I'm tired of grabbing stuff. All right, let's go to transform, flip horizontal. There we go. Very good. And then what we'll do is maybe stretch this out a little bit. Or apply what we have, call a perspective filter to it. Transform, perspective. Right? Since this is coming out further towards us. I like that. And we're getting a bit more real estate over here to kind of draw in some additional elements. This is going to be more of a short video, methinks, today. And just coming in. And down here, what I want to do is I want to just get this platform sorted. A little bit of a perspective grid going on there. Because this is in 2-point, we're going to get more of the side of the stair from this angle. Yeah, that looks about right. Backgrounds is actually one of my strong suits. I think I've always struggled with the figure. And then I'm also going to probably add Pritchard, Captain Pritchard over here, sort of in the extreme foreground. You know, on the, you know, if this is a book cover, here would be the spine, right? So the spine would be up here, the back would be here with the flavor text up here. And then Pritchard would probably be in the foreground, like here. And, you know, so as you turn to look at the summary on the back of the book, you would get this shot of Pritchard sort of in the extreme foreground. But be that as it may, let me erase some of these images. And again, I really do like the sort of sci-fi all these go up. It's a very high vaulted ceiling, so we're not actually seeing a lot of that ceiling. I'm kind of ad-libbing a little bit here. Maybe he has a rotating throne or something. Again, very sort of neo-Gothic. It's a hallway down that way. Draw through my forms. Kind of come in and just detail in this area here. I rather like that. What do you guys think? I think we need to adjust a little bit here. There's a place in Manhattan called the Cloisters, and it's a really cool place if you're really trying to get better at architecture. I would urge you to check out the Cloisters, go there, do some studies. Really invaluable resource. This is sort of set back. I'm kind of keeping it very loose and sloppy right now because I'm just trying to get in all the elements of this. And there's a lot to like a throne room or any sort of architecture when you're doing this. There's just a lot to keep track of. I want to do that. There we go. That seems about right. I want to make sure that this all looks like it's sufficiently behind him. Not looking too shabby right now. To go in and clean this up, obviously, but still, we're getting that sort of, you know, curved back edge of the space there of the chamber, and fairly in general, I'm happy with it so far. I have to move this in a little bit though. As I continue to refine. Right. So yeah, I'll definitely put, in fact, I'm going to put said space arts in the cards probably around now. And I'll also shout out Joel and Foundation Era as well. I think we got a good amount done today. I think I'm going to cut it for today. Let's just look at this full size real quick. Screen mode, full screen mode with menu bar. Let's do actual size. You can see that when I do actual size, it looks quite populated right now, but I'm definitely going to use saturation levels and depth of field to sort of bring out the two characters in the foreground. And I'll actually probably have Pritchard kind of standing around here just so he's not too close. So we create that triangle, right? So one thing you want to think about is composition. If you got a busy piece like this, one thing you can do to compensate is you want to have like a triangle that your eye is like, you know, sort of bouncing around. And Frazetta did this a lot, where you'd have sort of a triangular composition. And I did this with my previous piece, and I sort of did this with the first piece as well, where this is sort of the way, the direction your eye is moving around the piece. So you want to kind of keep that in mind as you're laying in your underdrawing and figuring out your different elements and reference and whatnot. But that's just something to kind of keep in mind, right? I'm going to actually delete this layer now. And I am going to wish you all farewell till next week. I'll be putting out another video, probably get into some, you know, intensive painting, right? I'll be laying in some of the faces to start, and then I'll work my way from the background towards the foreground, just like I would with a regular oil painting. But I want to thank you guys again for deigning to join me this week, and you know, going on this journey with me as we go through each of Asimov's books and paint a situational locale from each of his different novels. All right, thanks again, and until next week, I bid you farewell. All right, stay happy and safe, guys. Okay, thanks. Bye.